What's up, guys? Tenfoil back again with another video. This time it's going to be commentary, not a live commentary or anything like that. The main points that I want to be talking about today is how to fix the Division's loot system. Mainly because it's not necessarily broken, it's just not very efficient in how it makes the players feel, or make me feel like I'm a badass. But the only way to actually feel that high-ends are actually high-ends, or exotics, or whatever you want to call them. I mean, they call them exotics because I was a big Destiny player, and exotics were exotic. Mainly because you can only equip one for whatever system it is that you wanted to use. Say, for armor, you can only equip like a chest piece or something like that. Or for weapons, you can only equip one weapon. But the main point that, at least that I've noticed, that people are trying to get across to Massive is that high-end weapons need to feel more high-endy or exotic, or I guess what are now considered to be called gear sets. I think it'd be pretty cool if high-ends or at least had something that would per se be able to actually have like an extra bonus or something that would make them feel more exotic, as if you had one, or you had a specific pieces that they would work together in a certain way, not special way, but a certain way that would add a boost to, say, your DPS, or you'd get health back faster, you'd get more health on kill, or something like that that would activate, similar to how the gear sets are working. That would be pretty cool. It would definitely make items feel as if they were special. They would make you feel more of a badass, I guess. And another way, too, to improve it is you need to get them more often. So, say killing a boss would drop 2, 3, or maybe even 4 high-ends that would either, maybe a couple of them you could use, maybe one or you could use, or you could use none of them and turn them into crafting material. Because, especially now, the only good way to get good 204 level gear score quality gear is to craft them. Which Massive has tried to fix, at least by this recent patch. It would essentially make crafting much more difficult, because they said, and I quote, "You'll be able to get better gear without crafting." Well, maybe not an exact quote, but you get the idea. Anyways, so yeah, getting them more often would definitely help, at least making the Division at least maybe a little less grindy, or at least be able to have something that would prove to you that the grinding has been working. And a better way to improve it too would be better ways to get them, not just incursions, or grinding out in the dark zone, because I know a lot of players are having issues with that because they're not PvP savvy, much like I am. They mainly just want to focus on PvE and more outside, so doing challenging missions. Definitely should reward the player for their hard effort, because sometimes challenging missions can get very difficult. But the level 32 items that you can craft and get from the Dark Zone just are nothing compared to the items that you get from challenge mode, which is not fair. And the incursion is just, it doesn't reward you at all. You can grind and spend maybe 30 minutes. Maybe, okay, 30 minutes is kind of a long time, especially for the incursion, but, they still doesn't reward you enough, I feel like, and I'm pretty sure at least multiple other people feel like it doesn't reward you as much as it should for the work that you put into it. And even then, the items that you get probably aren't even that good compared to the high-end gear that you have. And that goes back to my original point that maybe high-end weapons or high-end armor or, performance mods should be able to work in sync with each other, that way they could actually improve some of your skills or your experience within the Dark Zone or challenging or something like that. Especially since gear sets right now are just dominating everything. And a really, really big point actually ends up going back to my second point that, you know, getting high-ends would more often would also improve the loot system is that level 32 area enemies need to drop level 32 items. That would be just amazing. It would make more people want to go into the level 32 areas, DZ05 and DZ06, I think that's what it is. And it would just be amazing to be able to actually get good gear once again from boss drops. I remember when legendaries were still pretty good and still viable to be able to get, and that was just wonderful to be able to get a holster per se and actually be able to use it and get good perks from it, or even a high end from it would be just amazing. And also, speaking of gear score, the gear score that level 32 area enemies drop are just terrible. I'm not gonna lie, it's literally cancer. You get a level 163 item from a level 32 boss that you can't even use. Like, you can't even use, say, a tactical vector that will just own anything that moves in the PvP. And also segues into my next point, but does gear score even matter in PvP? I've seen players with maybe 164 or 165 gear score drop people instantly. Like, it just doesn't make much sense, because I've also seen 215 gear score players get dropped within a matter of seconds, which leads me to believe that gear score doesn't even matter in PvP. Maybe not even PvE. My other main point is that gear sets essentially now are what the new what high ends were, which doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I guess it makes sense to the fact that gear sets are just really powerful and would literally continue into a god, but only two matter. It's Sentry's Call and Tactician's Authority. Maybe Strikers, but that's only because you can blend Strikers with your already high-end gear and actually get either a lot of health and a lot of DPS, but, you know, negligible electronics. But if you have Tactician's Authority, you can have very high electronics and you can literally just melt people and they can't even hit you. But the other two, I don't even know what they're called. They're just not even worth mentioning. But the main point that I'm trying to convey is that in order to fix the Division's loot system, is that we need to make the high-ends, which are now the new legendaries, feel like they're high-ends. Make them feel like they're gear sets. Make them work together in combination so that way they can at least have something similar to how gear sets work. Where if you have two or more pieces of the same type of armor, you can actually get a bonus, or at least something like that. Now I know it won't be the same tier as, say, getting critical hit damage or headshot damage increase or something like that, or even just that extra 45% damage against either an enemy or a player. Say you have two pieces of the same type of high-end gear, maybe like say a gunslinger holster and gunslinger gloves, that you'd be able to get increased critical hit chance or critical hit damage, or at least something like that that would be able to give you an edge, like two different armor pieces would do, or at least to have it labeled the fact that if you wear high-end gloves with firearms instead, would be able to give you extra health. Something like that would just make this game much more interesting in how you can build your characters and just become either a god or at least a demigod for that matter. It would just be amazing to see combinations that people can come up with of their armor that they actually would just make the game much more fun, much more interesting, and a lot of fun to fight up against. If you guys liked the video, please comment, rate, subscribe, do all that generic shit, and smash that like button for me. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys liked the video. Subscribe, as I said before. Definitely will be making more videos throughout the week. You know, the school's gotten in the way of me focusing on being able to actually produce content in which I have wanted to create in the past. So now that I actually have the stuff that I've needed, I'll be able to make a lot more videos. Hopefully on a daily basis, and hopefully they're quality videos too. If not, then I'll separate them out so I can put more time into making them. As I said before, this is Tenfoil, signing out.